Let's get more now on the news that the UK economy has emerged from its double-dip recession with growth over the last 3 months of 1%. That was the biggest quarterly rise in economic output for 5 years, helped in part by sales of tickets for the Olympics and Paralympics. Well, we can speak now to our business correspondent, Dave Harvey, who's at an electronics factory in Gloucestershire for us. Dave, over to you.
Well, you say 1% rise across the country. Here in Gloucestershire, this company has seen a rise of 108%. Yes, pre-tax profits for that 3-month period doubled here. Let me just show you a little bit of what they do. Along that line here, you have Anna and her colleagues putting the finishing touches to some pretty high-tech precision probes. Each one of these assembled at the end by hand, and a lot of it uses some pretty high-tech equipment. They end up with one of these. This is the tip of one of these precision probes, and yeah, looks like a ruby. That's an industrial ruby on the end there. The point about the success of this company is that Chris Pocket from Renishaw, an awful lot of your customers are manufacturing factories. That's where your kit is used.
Absolutely. On a global basis, we grew 36% in the first 3 months of our financial year, and in September, and 20% of that growth was actually in the UK, which may surprise a lot of people, but we're selling into successful manufacturing companies who are exporting globally.
So your kit basically helps people to make really high precision equipment, you know, whether it's, you know, aerospace wings for planes or whether it's mobile phones, that kind of thing. You're seeing more investment then? Does this suggest that people are actually putting money into British manufacturing?
Yeah, absolutely. The sectors that we feel, or we see certainly are doing well at the moment, civil aviation, it's very strong in the UK at all sectors, not just the big names that you would imagine that you would associate with aerospace, but also their supply chain as well within the UK. We're seeing heavy investment in automotive, also oil and gas sector as well. In fact, generally across the sectors we're supplying in UK manufacturing, things are very positive, and which means today in the UK we have 120 open vacancies.
Look at that, they're actually hiring people here, but of course high-tech very much at the high growth end. So what about other companies in this part of the world? Suzanne Hall-Gibbons, you're from the Chamber of Commerce in the county. Can't be good news for everybody, can it?
Well, I think the underlying trend is that there is more confidence in the marketplace, and our economic survey would mirror the GDP figures, that there is confidence. But obviously there are sectors that are still struggling, and also that hasn't quite hit the pay packet of employees as well. So there's still some way to go. The positive news is positive and should be encouraged.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's great that places like this and other factories are doing well, but as you say, you know, people are still finding that wages, if they're going up at all, it's not by much. Meanwhile, fuel bills go up, energy we're hearing last week, everybody's squeezed. I think the Office of National Statistics today suggested that actually something like 13% is how much we're worse off. So it's still tough out there, isn't it?
It is. It's very tight. And as we said, it's not quite made it into people's pockets yet. There's always going to be a lag with businesses growing and developing and obviously, you know, taking on more business. But that's still got to fuel a gap that they've had over the last 2 years. So it is going to take a while before it hits people's pockets. And some of those sectors are still struggling. Small retailers, construction still lagging behind.
OK, Suzanne, thanks very much indeed for the time being. So, as you can see, the high-tech guy is doing well, some of the other people finding it difficult. And I, for one, have learned something new today. I have to say, I didn't know there were such things as industrial rubies. They're rather pretty, aren't they?
There you go.
Nor did I.
Thanks very much. Well